Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Nemesis Gaming League. I'm your best friend, Gallium, and today we have some playoff action coming to you live, and I'm here with my boy, Flip1010. How are you doing today?
Man, I'm doing real good because I'm casting with Gallium, the GOAT. It's gonna be a good one. Obviously, it's kind of sad, Gallium. We're getting close to the end of the Nemesis season, but we do have some of the best teams still playing remaining here, and so now we're going down to the Prospect League. We got the Gladiators and Hypernova, so I'm excited to see these two teams battle. Two teams, which I feel like, recently, obviously, I feel like recently these two teams have been kind of powerhouses, throughout this last couple of seasons in the Prospect League.
Oh yeah, 100%. I think Hypernova and Gladiators have had winning seasons, and obviously you had that undefeated Gladiators run, season 11, I believe. So the Gladiators, I think, honestly, they were a team built in the draft. They basically got all the players that they have now from the draft, and Hypernova got Crowterra from, I don't know where they got him, but they got Crowterra and IzaChad along with Vex. So I'm usually a ball knower, Flip, but I am gonna be honest, I have no idea who to pick here.
Yeah, I don't know, but I know that Crowterra came from my org, the Melons, and he's the only reason why I'm AGM now, so shout out Crowterra. But I think Crowterra is gonna be a huge difference maker here, but IzaChad, oh my, there's so many good players on these two rosters, so it's gonna be tough to say who I think is gonna come out on top here, Gallium. Like you said, normally I feel like you're the ball knower in Prospect League, so yeah. I was kind of relying on you for this one, but that's okay, because I think my boys Crowterra, I mean, IzaChad is here, and IzaChad's like one of the lowest sales in all of Prospect, but he never plays like it. So I'm expecting Hypernova to pull off the upset here. Gladiators losing again, after this time they're the 2 seed. That's what I'm expecting here, Gallium, and I'm going to say it's Hypernova 4-2.
4-2. So, Flip has us going to 6 games. I might pick 7. And you know what? I'll go the opposite way. Gladiators in 7. I've had my eye on them all season long back when I was on the War Room org. I knew they were going to be a great team. I mean, just a phenomenal job by LeBerry getting all these players on the same roster, and it has paid dividends so far as these two teams are now fighting for a chance in the grand final. BrindyTheBlade sends it up high. Crowterra is going to get a touch. BigGuth gets a touch himself, and Vex is going to send it right back down. IzaChad, if he's known for anything, it's defense. And he's also known to be very good friends with BrindyTheBlade. So this is going to be an interesting match. Hopefully they, whoever loses isn't too hard on the other person, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I feel like whenever you're playing against your friends in the playoffs, you can't hold anything back because that's your friend, but also, you got to give respect and props to whoever wins. But it's just about whatever team comes out on top here, and so far, it has been Hypernova kind of stuck on the defensive end here, and Gladiators are looking to pummel this net more and more, and Brindy might have a shot there, not going to go through. But Gallium, this Gladiators offense is going full throttle.
They are putting their pedal to the metal right now, as we see them just kind of swarming the Hypernova net. They're like a bunch of sharks. There's blood in the water. If that pink was a little bit red, but unfortunately it's not. But BigGuth, on the other hand, is going to take this ball, try to get it over one, but Vex is going to get it away. Brindy, a beautiful touch, but can't make the shot. Crowterra, a great save. Crowterra, also a great player. I mean, I could realistically go into every single player in this series because they're all just Nemesis legends and all very good players, but you know what? I'll do that later on in the series. Let's focus on this game one at hand here as Virgil gets a demo on Crowterra. BigGuth is going to get a pass over to Brindy, but Crowterra, beautiful play. It's still floating in the Hypernova end. They have not caught a break yet. Virgil sends it over, and now Vex on the defensive side is going to bring it back into the Gladiators' end. IzaChad now low on boost. Can he get up there to make a play? He can't find the ball, but luckily his teammate can. Now it's a 2-on-1. Crowterra, nice pass. IzaChad, a beautiful shot, but Brindy, a great save, and that is a beautiful defensive stand for the Gladiators.
They have been on offense almost the entire game, and the counterattack almost came through, but the defense came up clutch. Now, on the other end, Brindy gonna get their shot saved, and Gallium, it feels like whoever scores his first goal might just take the game. Vex looking to do it there. It's not going to come through. Oh my, both these teams are so close to getting that first goal. And I feel like once that happens, Gallium, the floodgates, they're going to start opening.
Yeah, they are 100% going to start opening as soon as one of these teams scores a goal, as you mentioned. And I think, honestly, right now we're seeing some game one jitters, some stream jitters for sure. But I'm also, you know, they're both trying to feel each other out right now because, I mean, there's just a lot of playstyle switches. I've noticed like 3 this entire game one. So they're just trying to figure each other out what works. And IzaChad says, if I can put the ball in the back of the net and score, we'll probably win the game.
This time, I feel like I finally saw more than one player on this Hypernova team with boost, and they're able to make a great play out of it. The bump from Crowterra is huge there, and we've seen a lot of physical play already, but finally, it feels like a solo play into a physical play. A little bit of teamwork is all that this Hypernova team really needed. Let's see if they can continue that, or if this Gladiators team will finally find a way through after shooting the ball so many times already, but still not having a goal to show for it.
Yeah, you know, you can have all the pressure in the world, but if you don't capitalize on your opportunities, it is for naught. And so far, Gladiators haven't found the back of the net, and I think it has to do with this Hypernova defense, as you mentioned. I mean, they don't have many saves at all. Actually, the Gladiators have more saves than they do, but it's just about the fact that they are dominating their corners, right? When the Gladiators have an opportunity, there's always a player for Hypernova up to get the ball and get it out of the dangerous areas, right? You want to avoid the ball traveling across the face of the net as much as possible, and that's what these guys are doing so far. As IzaChad, beautiful air dribble into potentially a bump, but Guth is going to avoid that one. Crowterra gets a touch. That is a beautiful touch. Gets another one, and now it's floating down. Can Vex find it? He can't find the shot. IzaChad, he's there, and it's his second goal of the game. And you know what? If I had to put money on it, I don't think this is going to be his last in the series.
No, absolutely not. IzaChad has just been kind of the main benefactor is what I'm looking for. That's the one. He's just been getting all these goals handed to him. Might have another one here. The shot not going to go through. BigGuth able to make the save, keeping his score at 0-2 in favor of this Hypernova team. And Crowterra, who has been, I feel like, that main facilitator, and IzaChad has just been receiving all those passes. And finally, with about 20 seconds remaining, Gladiators are looking for one last opportunity here, Gallium, but it might be too little too late.
100%, and especially at this point in the game, as the clock is ticking down, it's all but a formality now. Hypernova coming out hot. You know, they didn't start hot in this game. Oh, maybe a goal? There we go, BigGuth. That's how we do it. Get a consolation goal, and that goal is actually big for them to go into this game, too, with a little bit more confidence. That's actually a really big goal. Now, they unfortunately did lose this game one, but Hypernova, they just had probably one of the more defensive starts I've seen in a while. They were in their end for a solid minute. And then they finally found out how to work this Gladiators team in the midfield. They were finding out how they need to dominate, and that is by playing those high aerial 50s. I mean, IzaChad especially, you saw him take it across the midfield. When IzaChad is behind the ball, it is very hard to get it into the opposing or the Hypernova end, right? You know, he's just such a big body, and he's on the ball pretty much the entire time. So Hypernova utilize him as basically a Swiss Army knife, and it's working to perfection right now. And I got to shout out Vex. 3 saves, but it felt like he had more. I saw him flying across the net a couple of times.
Yeah, absolutely. I felt like Crowterra, obviously he has the 2 assists, but more importantly, I felt like that midfield presence, and also in the corners. You said it, you mentioned it, like Hypernova played the corners extremely, extremely well, and I think the biggest difference between like the Hypernova defense and the Gladiators defense was Gladiators, every touch that they had, like in front of their own net, was still resulting in another dangerous ball, while I felt like Hypernova was getting that challenge early, forcing really bad shots out of Gladiators, like shots from half field, and every shot, every touch was a touch to the corner, and they were able to get it out. But this Gladiators team, though, they were still able to apply a lot of pressure. I feel like they got to look for some more demos and bump plays, kind of like that Hypernova team did. And I think that is going to start opening up this Hypernova defense a little bit, and maybe Gladiators will start to find some success on offense.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think the Gladiators are already finding a bit of success. I mean, obviously they had that early offensive stand in game one, but they're still applying pressure to this Hypernova team. We'll see if they overextended here as Vex makes a great play, and that is just dirty from Vex.
Yeah, I'm really just impressed with the angle. Like, obviously, the shot looks easy, like, but he just landed on zero boost, is able to turn his car, get the shot on target, and usually a shot like that, you know, it's routine, like in training or something, but like this is a playoff game on stream, and the nerves are a lot higher, the stakes are a lot higher. But he was able to knock that one down. Vex coming up big already. A huge goal there, but so far, I think as a whole, he has been the most consistent and best player on this Hypernova team. As Crowterra makes a save, but Virgil, look at that touch on the backboard. Could be an opportunity for Gladiators, but Brindy's not able to make the shot there. And Gallium, these are the kinds of plays that I think Gladiators need to start making.
100%, you know, and they haven't gotten a goal that has kept them in this series yet. Obviously, they had that goal at the end of game one, but they need a goal now to equalize this game for obvious reasons, but not only that, but for their mental, right? You know, it's a playoff game, a playoff series, and they are honestly off of a little bit of a break here. So they're looking to get this first goal to kind of ease the tension a little bit and settle into this game, because it's all about finding a comfortable rhythm. And so far, they're not really executing the way that I would expect them to. We'll see if that changes here as Virgil can't find the touch. BrindyTheBlade is going to get demoed. Absolutely eliminated Crowterra with a Hall of Fame pass, but BigGuth, an even better save from him on the defensive end. BigGuth, he was a player on the Minotaurs last season at Prospect, a guy that I had my eye on. He was really good back in season 12, but unfortunately couldn't make a run. Now he's on this Gladiators team with two superstars, and honestly, he has been 100% one of the best role players in Prospect League by far.
Yeah, and I do think that he just knows his role well, and he plays that role well. We'll have to see if his two teammates can also step up, as Brindy is usually the name that I want to look towards. Whenever Brindy's on a team, it's always Brindy's name that I'm looking forward to seeing. Usually it pops up on the goal scored. We'll have to see if they're able to do something here, but BigGuth pass can go a little bit behind him. IzaChad looking for another shot, and more pressure here from Hypernova. I think Hypernova has stepped up the demo play, specifically Crowterra, who has been a menace, and I think this Hypernova team is getting even more comfortable than they were in game one, and that's just a scary thought to even think about.
Yeah, I mean, especially if you consider how they started off in game one, they've just gotten better and better, you know, and it seems as though they're just not going to stop yet. So Gladiators, they need this goal. A great opportunity here at demo, but Crowterra is going to reach across the goal line for that one. Crowterra gets a touch. IzaChad not quite there, and BigGuth is going to get to it before him. Brindy sends it over. BigGuth going for a demo instead. This is a very smart play. Oh my goodness, what a save from Vex. How in the world did he get to that one?
That one is just insane. Vex, so far, like I said, he has been that guy, and now in the midfield, look for the pass down. Crowterra gonna pass it off the backboard. One more touch for Crowterra as well. This Hypernova team, I feel like, are stepping up at the right time. Gladiators, they're still only down by one. So one goal here, Ventus, and I'm sorry, I've been catching Ventus too much. One goal here, Gallium, and all these epic saves and all that. It's still just a one-goal game. At Hypernova, they're only up a goal, and it's the scariest lead in Rocket League, because you know everything else doesn't matter if you get scored on, which is one big mistake's all it takes. But Gladiators, they're struggling to find a way through.
Yeah, they certainly are, and you know, I think they just need to get really creative here. This is a nice play coming out from them, but unfortunately, double commit Virgil, a nice double, and Brindy's gonna be able to finish it off. Creativity to a key, exactly what I was asking for, and I know LeBerry's asking me to ask this Gladiators team to perhaps get another one to take this game too.
Yeah, and I think, Gallium, I think that the Gladiators have kind of gotten it going now. I think I'm seeing a little bit of a different movement. I can't even tell like what exactly it is. It just feels a little different. I think Virgil has been kind of like he hasn't done a whole lot, and I think that's going to be the biggest difference maker here. So Brindy and BigGuth have been stepping it up for him, but Virgil, that last piece, and this Gladiators team will be fully unlocked. And with 10 seconds remaining, there's gonna be one more opportunity as Vex is gonna have to make a touch on that one. It's gonna bounce off the sidewall. Virgil's gonna be up, no touch coming through. Brindy, one last play. Virgil downfield. Brindy's gonna try to hit this one off the backboard. No touch. We're in overtime, Gallium. 1-1. You couldn't ask for anything better in this semifinal matchup.
I mean, this is cinema right here. Game 2, overtime. If Hypernova win this game, they're up 2-0 in the series, and I would imagine the Gladiators might call a timeout. Gladiators, if they win, they even up the series. They make sure the Hypernova doesn't celebrate yet, and Brindy with a wonderful save. Virgil! Oh my goodness, it doesn't matter now, but those two saves were insane. Crowterra finally finding the back of the net, but oh my goodness, that one almost went the way of the Gladiators.
Dude, that's the kind of game where you're going to remember it. You lose this series, you're going to think to yourself, man, we got a better save there. Man, if we were able to hold them off, and that's the kind of game. Those overtime games are so killer on the mental as well. Gladiators so close, yet it feels like so far because this Hypernova team kind of just turned it on. Overtime hit, and boom, they win. They got like 3 shots back to back to back there. You cannot really stop something like that whenever you stuck your defensive end off kickoff, and it is just pounding the net from Hypernova. But as a whole, I think this Gladiators team is starting to figure it out a little bit. I'm surprised they're not calling a timeout yet, but I get it. You know, you don't want to waste that just yet. But going down 0-2, I think they need to talk a little bit about their roles and how they want to play this game, because right now, the way I'm seeing it is in the midfield, you're either getting demoed or you're getting beat by if you're Hypernova. And other than that, if they're able to get the ball clear, then it starts to turn into a counterattack. But like, I feel like they get stuck on their own end, so they got to figure out a way to get past these Crowterra demos and this midfield game from Vex and IzaChad following up on that, because right now Hypernova just looks like a well-oiled machine.
Oh yeah, Hypernova just seems like they have everything under control. You know, I will say they do look like the more confident squad, and that perhaps could come with, you know, Crowterra and IzaChad's experience. But Vex, he was a sub last season. Matter of fact, he was a sub, and midway through the season, I believe he got dropped, I want to say. Maybe not, I could be wrong, but he was a sub pretty much the entire time, and I scrimmed him before last season started, and I was really impressed with his gameplay. I was surprised he was a sub, and you know what? Falnera Gallium, I guess, was right again, because this guy has just been unreal for Hypernova.
Now, in this next game, Gallium, if you're Gladiators, the way I'm playing it is a lot more aggressive, because they've had their way a couple of times, but it has not been enough. And so I'm sending the whole kitchen sink at this Hypernova squad now, seeing if they can deal with it, because at this point it's do or die, Gallium. You got 2 games left, and if you lose those, it's all over.
Yeah, I think they need to get more creative on the offensive end. I know I mentioned it earlier, but I feel like they keep going for the same thing, right? They're going either in the corner, trying to send it across the face of the net, or going to the backboard and hoping one of the teammates can make a touch, but BigGuth is just going to do it all himself, and the BigGuth has a big goal in this Game 3.
This is the first time I think we've seen a real mechanical solo play attempt from this Gladiator squad, and BigGuth making the big play on the big stage. Gallium, you couldn't ask for a better step up from a player, and I think maybe a purposely delayed kickoff is going to let Crowterra and this Hypernova team counterattack, but Brindy stepping up there, and guess who's back? It's Vex once again, but this Gladiators team, they know that this Hypernova team not going down without a fight, but this Gladiators team, they're here to play, Gallium, and BigGuth showing that.
You know, I know we saw a sweep earlier on in the Prospect League, earlier on this stream, matter of fact, but I don't think this one's going to be a sweep. I think Gladiators really just, I mean, you see the resilience. It's all over your screen right now, but you have to also consider the fact that they were pretty much down and out. I mean, it looked very rough for them, and BigGuth comes out with a play like that. The amount of confidence you have to have, and not only yourself, but your team, to make that play and not expect to get counterattacked is honestly incredible, and it's probably why they have this lead right now.
Yeah, and now the counterattack, you know, from like this is the Hypernova team that I feel like is counterattacking a lot as well, like from these Gladiators offense. It's good, but I think Hypernova is at their best whenever Crow is demoing and they're playing a lot of midfield pressure. So if I'm Gladiators, I'm just trying to get this ball out. I'm trying to just go as fast as I can. And like I said, throw the kitchen sink at him, score as many goals as you can. This needs to be a feel-good game. Maybe a goal here off the counterattack. BigGuth not going to get there. IzaChad saving it off his own post. This is the kind of attack that I think Gladiators need.
I mean, you were mentioning Crowterra's demos, right? And I went against him in the mid-season tournament that we had in Nemesis. It was really awesome, by the way. And I was Crow-terrified of that dude. I mean, he just kept demoing me the entire game, and I was really uncomfortable. So I think he knows he has it in his back pocket, but I don't think he wants to bust it out just yet. It's a last resort, and they're up 2-0. So we'll see if he comes in and uses it, but we have a little over 2 minutes remaining in this game. IzaChad's gonna try to take a touch in the corner, but BigGuth there to intercept it. Crowterra, 0 boost. Basically, all members of Hypernova have very minimal boost. Vex, a big miss there. Brindy just bumps him. That's a big play, and the two best friends get physical in the net.
Brindy knew what IzaChad wanted, and Brindy wanted all that IzaChad there. Virgil gonna be the cleanup there, but that's all Brindy, and this is the kind of pressure that this Gladiators team needs. I talked about the physical play earlier. I said that they need to start incorporating that like this Hypernova team was, and they do it to perfection right there. Gallium, and with about 2 minutes remaining here, this Hypernova squad, I don't know if they have much of an answer for this offense. Their defense was so locked down, and I felt like in game 1, but this offense, I feel like has stepped it up a pace here in this game 3. So this Gladiators team, I think they're just getting better and better as the series goes on.
Yeah, 100%. And I will say, you know, in terms of individual players, if you give Brindy some confidence, he's going to dominate a game. Not even a game, a series, right? That was that entire season 11. Ember run, but wait a second. This might be a little dangerous here. IzaChad gonna get a touch, a beautiful double. Tries to get the 50, but it's not gonna go. Brindy fakes out that touch. Gonna try to look for the bump here. Only on 5 boosts. Crowterra's just gonna hop over him. And now it's out of the corner. BigGuth almost on target. Virgil with the shot attempt, and that one's off. And it seems as though the post is playing the best defense for Hypernova right now. We'll see if they can't get a goal here, but there's 50 seconds left. There has to be something done about this 2-0 lead that the Gladiators have, because if they win this game, they get a bunch of momentum back on their side. IzaChad gets the flick down the field. He's going to try to go for the demo. Virgil is going to avoid him. Crowterra sends it into the back of the net, and they're not done just yet, folks.
Yeah, this is just a really solid play here from Crowterra. The shot, not an easy one. The placement is well it's well placed right there, but I think the bump, the scare of the bump by IzaChad forced Brindy into an awkward spot, and now in 1-goal lead, kickoff goal incoming, not gonna happen there. Crowterra not gonna get the touch either. Vex with not a great 50, and Gladiators looking to survive these next 20 seconds, Gallium, but it's gonna be so tough. Brindy gets back to it, but this Hypernova team, they're looking primed to attack with 10 seconds remaining.
It seems as though they might just score here. IzaChad, he gets one. Get it in a second, he does. But Crowterra misses the open net, and that is devastating for this Hypernova team. IzaChad with one of the most insane double taps I have ever seen, and it doesn't go in the back of the net. What in the world is this series we're watching?
That one would have been... Oh my, that would have been IzaChad's career right there. Like, that is just that would have been the peak. That would have been the peak. But if you're Hypernova, you were that close, and you're still up a game, so you got to feel at least pretty comfortable. But if you're this Gladiators team, you're looking at the shot totals. You're looking at the overall offense that I felt like just was so dominant. And you're thinking to yourself, man, we have these guys now. We know how they play. We know how we play. We play to our strengths. We're in this series now. Gallium, I feel like now is the real start of the series. Hypernova, they have a little bit of a head start, but both these teams are now on the full sprint. It's just about who's gonna win this race? It's gonna be so close here, and I think, call me crazy, I think that IzaChad miss. It's gonna turn to an IzaChad goal later. I think he's gonna hit a nasty double, maybe pretty soon. I think he's gonna remember that one for later. But we'll have to see. Going into Game 4 here, Gallium Gladiators. I feel like this is a must-win game for them here.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think that goes without saying, but like, I mean, especially considering the fact that both teams are trading ridiculous plays right now. I mean, it is just absolutely insane what they're busting out here, and this is prospect, mind you. You know, it's just the amount of confidence that they have, and you mentioned the fact that they're warmed up now. I think that's going to be a big role in how this Game 4 plays out, and we'll see if Hypernova can't get a game back after losing that last one, as we see IzaChad in his own end. Virgil sends it down. He sends it into the Hypernova end. Vex and Crowterra both colliding on the 50. You can't get it past one. How about put a second person there? IzaChad in the corner. He can't get the touch. A beautiful pass from Brindy. IzaChad has to be there, and he is. Virgil can't find anything to go with that. He had no boost, nothing really to do there. Crowterra sends it down. Brindy, a beautiful clear. Now Vex, 30 boosts to work with. He gets a nice touch off the corner. Virgil now tries to send a shot towards net, and IzaChad is going to redirect that one down the length of the pitch. BrindyTheBlade with a shot. This one's on target. IzaChad, an amazing save. Read him like a book there, and he needed to, as we see Virgil sending it down. Crowterra, he's up for it. Can he get a touch? No. It's going to be Virgil instead. Virgil sends it across the face of this Hypernova net, and IzaChad isn't going to be able to reach that one. BrindyTheBlade, he can't find it. Just then, BigGuth, though, trying to get a touch of his own into the back of the net like he did in Game 3, but it's not going to go for him either. Brindy tries to find a shot. Virgil now over to Brindy. Brindy can't find the touch. Vex, 0 boost, gets a nice 50. Brindy, he has a full tank. He can take this one slow, and I think he's going to opt to here. Crowterra with the challenge, but Brindy is going to win that 50 there. Vex sent it down. Crowterra, beautiful redirect. Is anyone there for Hypernova? Doesn't seem so, but wait a second. The Gladiators having a little bit of a miscue here as Bub's raining out. Brindy finally gets the save there. Vex, maybe with a shot, more like a pass there. Crowterra off the sidewall. Now he's just going to aerial it past a defender. BigGuth gets a nice touch instead. Vex, 0 boost remaining, bounces it off the top corner, and it seems as though that Hypernova, they got back on the right foot, but they just can't put it in the back of the net yet. Flip.
Oh my goodness, say something again. Vex has an answer. What a shot here from Vex, who has been playing this whole game, has been Vex masterclass so far, Gallium, and that goal right there is just the cherry on top.
I mean, I am not seeing an AI watermark. I think that might have actually been a real shot. That is ridiculous. I mean, especially considering that on my end, I didn't even see him coming in. He just flew in, and I mean, that was an insane shot. But, you know, I guess we should expect that from Vex at this point. But a great pass, obviously, by the Crowterra. But Gladiators, they're going to have to respond here if they want to get back into this Game 4. BigGuth, maybe with an opportunity here, and he doesn't miss those. What a calculated shot from the BigGuth.
BigGuth in a big game, it knows it's big time to get a goal. That one right there is going to tie up this one, Gallium. And I can't lie, it's going back and forth again. This, we might get another overtime, I don't know. But these two teams, like I said, they look warmed up now. They look ready for whatever is going to get thrown at them. So we'll just have to see who comes out on top. I think they're both at their A game right now, Gallium. So these two teams, it's going to be a fun watch for the rest of the series.
100%. And, you know, this just goes to show why people outside of Nemesis have troubles, especially in the playoffs, trying to come into this league and play and perform the way they want to, because there's a lot of stream games happening. A lot of the players in the playoffs have experience on stream, especially dating back multiple seasons. So the resilience has to be there, and it's hard to be resilient on stream, but I feel like they have that in their toolbox. Both teams do. Hypernova and Gladiators just going back and forth. This is a heavyweight bout. Virgil gets a nice touch, but gonna get 50'd out there. BigGuth had a big goal earlier. He's trying to get another touch, but Crowterra, a nice 50 on his end. Virgil gets the ball into the Hypernova end. Vex doesn't have the best touch, and Virgil is just going to send it right back down. Crowterra pops it down. Virgil off the backboard. It's not going to go. Brindy now taking his time, taking control, flicks it over to his left. Can he find the shot to his right? He's not going to be able to. IzaChad, great defensive play from him and Crowterra. Crowterra off the ceiling. Virgil's going to intercept that one. The Gladiators have a plethora of boost in their tanks. Brindy doesn't have the shot opportunity. Elects to hit it anyway. Virgil can't find the double, and this might be a break for this Hypernova team. Vex the other way. He doesn't have boost. BigGuth doesn't know that, though, and he still makes the play accordingly. Virgil now going to go up for it. IzaChad, a beautiful touch from him as well. Brindy, he sends it to the side while BigGuth is going to be able to collect this one now. He's going to send it the other way. Crowterra popping it high. It's off the ceiling. Virgil can't make the play, but that would have been a dagger for this Gladiator team. Can they find it here? Big! Oh my goodness! That is a ridiculous save from Vex, but it's still in there, and Virgil can't find the touch. BigGuth down the other way. BigGuth trying to find a goal here. He's gonna try to flip into this one. He doesn't have his flip. At the end of the day, Brindy gets it in front of it. Virgil, he puts it away finally for this Gladiators team.
This Vex guy has been zero boost so much on defense. Finally, Gladiators are able to get it past him. And then the net is open as Virgil puts that one away. 11 seconds remaining here, Gallium. Hypernova have to find this one.
I mean, this is a must score for them. IzaChad sends it over to the side. Virgil does a great job time wasting here. Vex over to Crowterra. This one's just gonna fall. And Hypernova, they won the first two. The Gladiators said, nah, we're not gonna let that happen again, as they win the next two. And now it's a 2-2 series here. I don't know if you can do basic math here, Flip. I mean, I know I just blew your mind with that one, but we're in game 5 territory, and you know, I love me a little bit of some game 5 action. And you know what, game 5 in the playoffs, that is Forbidden Temple, correct? Or is game 6 Forbidden Temple?
That's game 6, but
game 6. Okay.
Your hands, I'll forgive you.
Well, we're guaranteed to go to a game 6, so Forbidden Temple's still in the cards there. Yep, there we go. That's a fact for all the fans at home. But the Gladiators, they got a great win here, obviously, and I think it really had to come down to their clutch plays, right? I feel like they trust each other, and they're full committing. As you said, you mentioned it at the beginning of, I believe it was game 3. You have to throw the kitchen sink at these guys if you want them to break. And I mean, there was a kitchen sink being thrown. There was like a couple chairs, maybe a table being thrown at the goal, and it was just not, it was no bueno. No bueno. They were playing amazing defense, but, you know, they just threw that one little chair into the goal, and they finally got it going. So, you know, at Gladiators, they keep having these opportunities. I think they're going to be successful here in this game 5 as we take a trip to probably one of my favorite maps in the game here, Flip.
Yeah, it's a pretty map. You know, favorite. I don't even know what my favorite map is. I can't even stop. But it's gonna be whoever wins this game. It's probably one of their favorite maps, I bet. But this BigGuth guy, I don't think we've talked enough about how big he has been. As he goes for a flip reset right there, would have been disgusting. But BigGuth obviously had the equalizer goal this game, had the double touch last game, or the game before that, and he has just been that dude on offense. Virgil has been stepping up big time. I think Brindy has kind of taken that backseat third man role, and I feel like it's allowed this Gladiators team to have so much offense. But the third man, named Vex on this Hypernova team, Gallium, he has been playing at an MVP level, in my opinion.
Oh, 100%. And having these two guys playing third man, as you mentioned, I think it opens up a lot of opportunities. The reason I prefer playing third man is you have a full tank of boost. Sometimes the ball just rolls back to you and you're like, oh, a free ball to myself. I could just do whatever I want with it. And Vex and Brindy are the two most gifted players mechanically on the pitch, in my humble opinion. I mean, they are up there in MMR, so I guess that does track. But, I mean, these guys are playing out of their minds, but their teammates are also playing out of their minds. This is one of the rare series I've seen where there has not been a bad player on this pitch. All these guys are battling tooth and nail to try to get this Game 5 victory and win this series to go to the Grand Finals to face Origin. It's falling down. Vex, a great save. BrindyTheBlade's going to chase that one into his corner. Brindy tries to get it into the Hypernova end, but is going to be blocked away. Guth, a beautiful double from him. He's just absolutely a monster with these doubles, but that's a bad challenge, or a bad 50 from BigGuth, and Crowterra is going to swoop in and get that goal any day of the week.
Yeah, Brindy thought he had just one more little touch. One more little touch, gets around Quarterra. Brindy's there for a follow-up, but sometimes Gallium trust hurts the most because whenever it's broken, man, it's just so hard to repair. Anyway,
yeah.
I'm really sad now. Those guys, they were hard trusting BigGuth with that touch, and Crowterra shut them down. Crowterra trying to find another one there, and this Gladiators team, they got a little too aggressive, specifically the third man. You gotta be careful, and Brindy's been doing such a good job of being careful as that third. Guth gonna have an open net there, not gonna find the target. It wasn't exactly open, but this Gladiators team now, they're gonna continue to put on the pressure just like they were, and I think whenever you're playing on a really aggressive style like that, Gallium, you just gotta accept you're gonna get scored on. Like, it's gonna happen. Like, you're not perfect, so you just gotta throw that one away and go get 2 goals instead of just getting 1 this time. So we'll have to see if Gladiators are able to do that, or if this Hypernova team will continue piling it on, or if they'll keep surviving with this 1-goal lead.
I mean, in terms of trusting your teammates as third man, it is the most important position, especially defensively, as you mentioned, right? And there's 2 options you can take when you lose trust of your teammate. You can adjust and say, hey man, it's okay. We had those happen. Oh my goodness, Vex almost just peaked. Or you could just start blasting some Juice World, you know, because your trust is broken. But, you know, either one works. As BrindyTheBlade's gonna have a touch himself. Full boost in the tank. Vex is going to have a touch. Virgil can't find the double. IzaChad can't find the touch, and it's popped high. Vex, nice defensive stand from him. A little over a minute, 40 seconds remaining. BigGuth, he's flying in. IzaChad, nice save hit there from him. Brindy off the backboard. Vex is there with the touch, and Crowterra is going to get it to the side and alleviate some pressure for his Hypernova squad. Virgil with 1 touch to himself. A nice 50. That is the best 50 I've seen all day. Oh my BigGuth, just almost sneaked that one in, but I mean, who else but Vex to save that one at the goal line? Such a poised player in the defensive end, and you know, I feel like I blazed him too much. So, oh my goodness, as BigGuth, matter of fact, just put it right past him.
Yeah, BigGuth was not having it with that 50. Instead, Brindy gets the pre-flip over for the pass, and then BigGuth says, hey, Vex, you need a little head on your head, Vex. Vex just couldn't get up there in time, just too fast for him. BigGuth stepping up big time in this playoff series. Brindy as well with a beautiful pass there, looking for another one here. Down to Virgil. Virgil looking for the double. That one gonna be bouncing mid once again. Guth with the touch around this Gladiators team. They go down 1 goal. They do not care. They're still sending the house.
Oh yeah, you know, they're sending the entire kitchen sink, as it were, so far to try to get this one. And you know what? It's working here as 40 seconds remaining in this game 5. It's off the backboard. Brindy's gonna fake it out. BigGuth with the shot, and oh my goodness, that is an insane level of finesse from BigGuth. He looks like an ice skater right now, just perfectly pirouetting over the defense to get this one in the back of the net.
Look, I hate to say it, BigGuth, if you shoot that ball a little worse, it gets saved. If you shoot that ball better, the fact that IzaChad backflip helps a lot. If IzaChad didn't backflip, IzaChad's going flying past that ball. Like, BigGuth had a great fake there. It's just such a heads-up play. Now he gets the pinch on the ground. BigGuth is doing it all for this Gladiators offense so far. And on the other end, Hypernova. They had the lead, Gallium, but with 10 seconds remaining, it is all Gladiators all day. Brindy with the double, not going to come through, and the pass couldn't either. 5 seconds remaining, 1 last attack for Hypernova, maybe. Vex bangs that one downfield, Crowterra's up. Virgil with the save, IzaChad trying to keep this one alive. 0 seconds, is it floating in? Oh my goodness, Brindy wasn't gonna let it happen though, and a 3-2 lead now for Gladiators as we head to Forbidden Temple.
I mean, the Gladiators, this has been a close series, but you can't, understate how clutch they have been in especially dire situations, and they've clawed back. They've won 3 games in a row. 1 more game, and they punch their ticket to the grand final, and I'm sure LeBerry is really loving this right now. But on the other end, Hypernova, it's not like they're just playing bad. They are giving it everything they have. It's just a series of unfortunate events, you know, as we keep mentioning here. Both teams are playing really great. I would like to see Hypernova get a little more shots towards the net. They only had 5 there. And, I mean, to the Gladiators, 11 shots that they had. So, I mean, in comparison, I would like Hypernova to, you know, get out of their end a little more and start, you know, dominating that midfield as they were doing in the beginning of this game, and rely on IzaChad in the midfield to really get the ball into the zone and start pressuring this Gladiators team. I know Hypernova can do it. We'll see if the fate of the Rocket League universe agrees as game numero 6 underway here at the Forbidden Temple. BrindyTheBlade gets a nice touch. BigGuth now is going to send it into the corner. Crowterra doesn't have boost. He's going to opt to leave that one be, or maybe he just didn't have enough boost to get that. Crowterra sends it over to Brindy. Brindy, he has the carry opportunity. Crowterra, he has had enough of that nonsense. Virgil leaving the ball for Guth. A little bit of a risky decision, but I kind of like it in hindsight. Virgil sending it to the corner once more. The Gladiators really attacking these corners of Hypernova. It hasn't worked really historically, but maybe one of these times they can get a goal here. Is Brindy on the backboard. IzaChad with that shot, and that is pixel perfect from the chat.
IzaChad with the shot, Quarterfinal with the pass, and you just, this is the kind of offense Hypernova need. They don't want Vex crossing that half-field line. I don't care how good Vex is a great player. You need IzaChad and Crowterra doing the offense, because whenever those two actually get cooking on the offensive end, it just works out so well. And then you just have this little safety blanket back here, saving everything. Gets a double past him right there. And this Hypernova team, I think they have a formula for getting goals and getting victories. They just need to go back to it and remember how they won games 1 and 2.
Yeah, you know, definitely just finding your pass identity as Crow is going to have an open shot. It was a little tricky, but I think he still could have put that one away. Yeah, off the backboard once more. A demo coming out. Brindy being eviscerated from the pitch here as Vex sends a touch to the side. Crowterra is going to get one himself, and Brindy there on the defensive end gets a nice 50, and IzaChad is last back. Virgil going to attempt to beat him, but IzaChad on it pretty much the entire way here as BigGuth. He's backing up. He can't find the touch. He's letting IzaChad have this with full boost in the tank. Crowterra gets almost a touch, but BigGuth's gonna beat out every single Hypernova member, but unfortunately does not have the boost to follow it up here as Virgil off the sidewall. He's gonna miss his touch. This could be big for Hypernova, but Brindy gonna settle it down once more, and it's in the midfield. Vex over to Crowterra. Crowterra is gonna opt to keep it into the Gladiators' end rather than shoot it on net, and I don't hate that play whatsoever. Vex is beating Brindy by a mile. Vex with the double, and that's a nice 50 for this Hypernova team. Crowterra with a touch into the corner, tries to send it to the backboard. Guth instead there to receive it. Vex with a touch. This might be in. No, it's not quite. It's off the crossbar. And Hypernova, they're looking like they're back in peak form here, Flip.
And I think Crowterra, being that midfield presence, he has been there like all the time. Doesn't matter where, doesn't matter when. His teammate could be on the ball. He doesn't care. He's going to be there. The Crowterra has been everywhere right now, and that's just kind of how this Hypernova team, I think, needs to play. They need someone sitting back, and they need Crowterra just kind of being in this Gladiators team's face. Don't let them get anything as he goes for the demo right after that touch. That's the kind of play Crowterra needs to make, and this Hypernova team plays best whenever that is what's happening. As once again, it feels like Hypernova, they have this lead. They had it last game as well. They lost it though, and whenever Gladiators are turning on the offense, that's whenever I need to see Hypernova step up.
Yeah, you know, you have to see Hypernova just continue this pressure. You know, you don't want to concede a goal to Gladiators. I mean, the floodgates might open here as Vex bumps out his teammate. Guth can't put that one away. A tricky angle. Can't quite find it. Virgil gets a touch. Gets it over one. Now IzaChad sending it high. It's in the corner. BrindyTheBlade sending it into the corner himself. He tries to get a touch up high, and now can any one of his teammates reach it? Guth tries his best. There's a little under a minute, 30 seconds to work with Gladiators. They need a goal to be able to tie this game up and send this one potentially into a very stressful overtime. Here is BigGuth. Sends it over. Crowterra with the shot. He accidentally gets a second touch. That would have been nasty if it was on target. Virgil over to IzaChad, who gets bumped. Now Crowterra is up for him. Crowterra misses his touch, but IzaChad there for the 50. He's going to take their boost, and now BigGuth can't find it. Vex almost with the perfect shot. And the fact that these shots have to be perfect for them to go in really says a lot about, you know, both of these defenses, actually, as BigGuth sends it to the side. He doesn't have any boost to work with, allows his teammate Virgil to come make a play. Vex, he sends it down. BrindyTheBlade is just gonna leave the ball, try to go for a non-existent boost, apparently. Vex had the same idea. Virgil down the pitch. It's in the corner. IzaChad is gonna send it back into the midfield. BrindyTheBlade doesn't have any boost remaining. BigGuth now can't find the touch. Crowterra over to Vex. Vex with the shot, and again, a perfect shot ices this game number 6.
That one right there might just do it here, sending us to a game 7. The touch from Crowterra he is, like I said, if the ball is past that half-field line, he's going to be there, Gallium, and he makes a great pass there. A lot of the times, those midfield players, they don't get appreciated, all right, like they should. And Crowterra, who he doesn't need to put up the flashiest stats, he just needs to be around the ball, making a play happen. IzaChad needs to hit that double. That's the one I was talking about. He didn't hit it that time, though, so it looks like we got to see it in game 7, because that's where we're headed now.
I mean, you never know. There's 5 seconds right here, and he has the ball. A little bit of okay, you know, never mind. I guess there goes hoping. You know what I'm saying? As Hypernova gets this one to the ground, and we are going to the coveted game 7. The first game 7, I believe, of the day, and maybe of the entire round of this playoffs. I'm not quite certain on that, but no, never mind. I was wrong. But you know, one of the only game 7s. There we go. That's much better. But you know, we have. Maybe you know, you have more experience than I do.
Yeah, I was in one of them.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, exactly. But Gladiators, the shocking stat for them, 0 shots across the board. Oof. Not a single shot on Hypernova's net, and Hypernova had 7. So they clearly understand what they need to do to really get into the Hypernova's heads. They need to start ripping shots. They need to start being confident on the ball and shooting like Hypernova was shooting that game. I mean, all these goals this series have been absolute peak. And it's perfect shots every single time to get past the defense. And you're going to have to give it your very best for 5 minutes here to decide who gets a chance to play in the grand finals. Will it be the Gladiators searching for a long-lost grand finals berth? Or will it be Hypernova and the Space Jam organization getting this one to bring it home for Critter? Brindy can't find the touch. IzaChad off the backboard. IzaChad maybe with a bump. He's not going to be able to get there. BrindyTheBlade, though. He's going to try to find the touch. A beautiful play around one. Crowterra doesn't have any boost to go get him. Brindy gets it across. Crowterra and IzaChad having to make that save there. Vex, he doesn't have boost. BigGuth off the backboard. Crowterra with a great save and a great clear. All in the same sentence there. Crowterra off of the backboard. Off the backboard once more. Virgil up with the save over to Brindy. Brindy beats out IzaChad, and now he's racing towards the other end of the field. Brindy off the corner. BigGuth, he's there. He can't find the touch into the back of the net. IzaChad now going into the midfield. Virgil is going to stop him in his tracks and steal the boost. Virgil, a beautiful second touch, but he can't make the pass there. BigGuth off the ceiling. He can't really get the optimal pass, but it still gets out to his teammate. Virgil with a perfect shot, but Vex an even more perfect save there. Guth into the midfield, no teammate there to really, you know, get to that one. And Gladiators, they have 100% more shots in this game than they did last game. So congratulations, Gladiators. This definitely will be something that will help them later on in the series, I feel like, Flip.
Later on in the series, Gallium, that doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
We're at... Oh, okay, yeah, I get what you're starting up now. Never mind. But this Gladiators team does look like they have found more offense, and looks like they might have a goal right here. BigGuth shot just off. Virgil gonna get taken away by Crowterra, and Crowterra has been stepping up on defense, but you can't forget about that man Vex either. But this Hypernova team has not been able to find a consistent offense like I feel like this Gladiators team has. And once again, this Gladiators team back on the offense, just slamming the backboard over and over and over again. But right now, I feel like Hypernova has that one answered pretty well so far, Gallium.
As Crowterra attempts to get the trifecta in terms of 50s, but oh my goodness, IzaChad! A miss, but an even bigger miss this from Virgil. Oh my goodness, Calamity in the net. And it's still 0-0 here. Guts, he can't find the shot. Crowterra off of the firewall effect, sending it down. IzaChad unable to find the touch. He's gonna wait for this one, Brindy, with one. Can he find a double? Almost did. Crowterra, great defensive play. Virgil, he more than made up for it there. Top right, Cheddar.
That one, he needed it. Vex got pumped. Vex would have had the save, but Virgil, oh my goodness, Virgil, you needed that one, brother. That one is huge for the mental. I fell out of my chair, Gallium. Like, I cannot believe what I just saw, and it might not matter. But if Hypernova somehow come back, I promise you, Virgil's gonna be dreaming about that one. But so far, Gladiators still have the lead, and they gotta just hold on for 2 minutes, and they're in the grand final.
I mean, but you can't count out this Hypernova team. They have shown that they are resilient, but BrindyTheBlade doesn't care. He doesn't care about all the fancy graphics and the series score. He's just gonna do what he was born to do. Pick up a controller and play Rocket League in Game 7s and be that guy. And BrindyTheBlade gives them a 2-goal lead here in Game 7 as we are approaching 2 minutes. Hypernova is down 2-0 with 2 minutes remaining. Flip, I mean, listen, I know it's hard to predict these kinds of things, but do you think they can make it happen?
Look, I know somebody in this call predicted it perfectly, the game and what the score is going to be, because I don't see the Hypernova team coming back, because, I mean, have you been watching the gameplay so far, Gallium? This Game 7 has been all Gladiators all day. Yesterday, tomorrow, it's been them every step of the way, and I think there's one way through, and that's demoing the entire team. And I just don't, I don't think Crowterra can do it. He's going to try, I promise. But the minute and a half remaining, they've got to make the plays happen. And I think Gladiators, they're starting to give up a little bit of space here. And this might be the shot. Not going to go through, not going to have the shooter there. But if Gladiators start pulling off the gas a little bit like they are, I think Hypernova will have a shot.
I mean, you might. Oh my goodness, Brindy. Oh, that could have been dangerous. Virgil gonna miss his touch as well. This is calamity going on for the Gladiators and Hypernova all at the same time. Hypernova, they need to get a goal here. Vex goes up for it. It's on target, maybe not. It was off the crossbar just barely. They're gonna have to send everything they have. No more defense. Defense does not exist. At least that's what my ranked teammates think. BrindyTheBlade off into the backboard. BrindyTheBlade with another touch potentially on Crowterra. Crowterra sends it down. BigGuth is going to be there for the 50. Crowterra down to IzaChad. No boost remaining in his tank. I don't know if Brindy knows that though. Now he grabbed a full boost. Crowterra down into the other side of the pitch. Vex, a beautiful touch himself. It's up. This ball is awkward for the Gladiators, but perfect for Hypernova. Crowterra sends it down. IzaChad off the backboard himself. Vex sends it down into the corner. And now BigGuth just trying to waste as much time as humanly possible here. IzaChad sends it into the right side of the field. Him and Vex not going to be able to make contact here. This might have been it. This might have been all Hypernova had in the tank. Gladiators, they battle back. They stay true to their name, and they battle through adversity constantly to find ways to win, and they have done it to a T in Game 7 fashion to advance to the grand finals and play an Origin team who, quite frankly, looks very scary.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough battle. I do think that these are two of the best teams in Gladiators and Hypernova. I think these two are the best teams in Prospect, so obviously they deserve their spot in the semis. And one of those teams gets the pleasure of playing Rockerman in the finals. So
it's not Rockerman. It's Rockerman's org, but it's not Rockerman playing.
Well, you know, might as well be. I don't know.
Same thing.
Might as well be. They're playing against the director. Like something's gonna happen here, and I can't tell you what. But I will say though, Gallium, that series was fantastic. I think the biggest difference was the the resilience, like you said, like the Gladiators team actually battled. They battled through a 2-game deficit into coming back basically like a 4-1 after that in a pretty dominant fashion. Almost like it felt like the Gladiators turned on the offense. You know, they had a long break. It felt like they turned on the offense. They got comfortable with each other, and it was just series after that. It was just another day in the office for them. This Hypernova squad, They came together late in the season and they made a solid run. But in the end, Gallium, it was this Gladiators team coming out on top.
I mean, what a series that was. And if I'm going to be quite candid with you, that's probably one of the my favorite playoff series I've casted in quite some time, maybe even ever, mind you. That one was so intense, so exciting, had everything you wanted. But that's not the end of the action tonight, as we have one more game going at 11 o'clock. You know, if any of you night owls out there, be prepared because we have some action coming your way. Thank you again, Flip, for casting in the booth with me. You get to cast this next one. Yay, congrats.
I know, I'm so excited, and it's going to be a rival league, too, so I get to see who I get to play in the grand final. So we got to tune into that one. And Gallium, with that, I mean, I think we're out. I think we're headed out of here.
Yep. All right. Peace out, guys. Enjoy that 11 o'clock game. See you guys later.
Deuces.